It's not your fault. It's also not my fault either. My name is Mr. 2020. You're listening to the Power of Imagination podcast. I fired a client recently. She wanted to find fault. So I fired her. By the way, you're going to love where this is going, and you will never see it coming. Ready? So I sold my old car to my mechanic, David Brown Mechanical. I love this guy. He loves my old car. And I'd had it for, 8 years, 10 years, something like that. I've had it for a while. And I found myself, I wanted something different. To the point where I really didn't even, I just wanted something different. It was time. Time for a new me. I've owned classic BMWs forever. I love the 3 Series Beamer. I've owned more than a few. I tend to buy them for the price of a used Chevy, just for fun. I get great deals, they last forever, and then I give them to someone that would appreciate them. The last one I had back in the United States, I gave to a guy who he had to keep taking his daughter to Children's Hospital, and he wanted a reliable car. And welfare gave him a check for like $700 to get a car. And he said, "How much do you want for your car?" I said, $700. He drove that car for like 2 years, made my day. He turned it into a little bit of a hot rod, didn't make my day. But I love that he loved it in his way. See, it's not my fault what he did with it. It's not your fault either. People get all screwed up about this. It's all you pushed out stuff as well. Good Lord, maybe we'll get into that too. But let's get back to I fired a client. She wanted to blame me, and then she wanted to blame herself. And I said, this ain't working. All right, you can't blame me. See, David Brown told me, look, your car's got an oil leak. This is a while back. He goes, it's not bad, but every time you fill it up, check the oil. With what you drive, bring it in once a year for a service. And that's what I did. Until I decided I didn't want it anymore. If I didn't listen to him, is it his fault if the car doesn't run anymore? Every time I checked every time I filled it up, I checked the oil. And if it needed some, I added a little. I listened to the guy that knows the mechanics. You see, I'm the movement guy. I can move the car from A to B. I'm great at that. I've been driving for 40 years. Imagine that, 40 plus years. Good Lord. I remember Susie Q's mom teaching me how to drive because she knew I was going to start driving Susie's car, so she made sure I knew how to drive. And my dad taught me how to drive a manual transmission. God, that was fun. But I also seem to digress because it wasn't my dad's fault when I ground the gears. He taught me the best he could, and I got to get some experience. But meanwhile, I fired a client because she blamed me. And she blamed herself. And I told her, I said, look, one last parting word. Because if we get together again, it's going to be under a different mindset, a different state, even. Because your state determines your mindset. And she goes, what's that? And I said, it's not your fault, it's not mine. You've been beating yourself up for so long that you can't do it anymore, and you want to beat me up because you're not doing what I say. You're also not doing what you want. And that's no reason to beat yourself up. This is an opportunity, because if you find fault, you're imagining that I'm faulty, or you're faulty, or your application is faulty, and all you find are faults. And you can't live like that. It exhausts you. On the other hand, if you can find opportunity, because all around you is opportunity to imagine lovingly. All around you is opportunity. Inside of you is opportunity. People will construct shithouses You know, place where you go take a poop, little outside, they call them dunnies here. You know, the outside dunny. Yeah, the thunderbox, the outhouse, the porta potty. You can construct those all day. I don't suggest that you live in them. If you find yourself needing to take a poop, take a poop. If you find yourself having to take a poop, wipe and shower off. You've got an opportunity in front of you, around you. You're listening to the voice of opportunity right now. I suspect if you're listening more than once, you keep showing up because you sense there's opportunity beckoning. And as long as you live in a world of blaming you or blaming me or blaming the teachings, here's what I love. Before Neville, my life was great. I found Neville Goddard, and now my life sucks. Well, let me ask you a question. If your life was so great, why did you find Neville and start applying it? Right? Odds are you found it, but you're applying something really weird like blame. When you buy the Pearl of Great Price, you're not buying the blame game. You're buying the fact that there's unlimited opportunity. When you get there's one cause, you will not sit around and blame yourself or blame other people. And in any moment where you get there's one cause, you will dive in and you'll dance. You'll not settle for the data that you use to blame game, me, you, or anyone else. You'll dance. All right. Today, my suggestion, pearlpowerpack.com. Go there, pearlpowerpack.com. I make these easy to remember, pearlpowerpack.com. Go there. You can get all three for the price of one. We did 3 group calls on the Pearl of Great Price. You'll read about 21,237 emails. And over the course of like 5 hours total, we explored the sneaky ways where people sell the pearl. The blame game is one of them. And I don't want you to do this anymore. All right, let's imagine up something lovely, and I'll come back with a closing after we go into the silence. We live in a world where people are trying to find who to blame, and they're trying to avoid blame. And what happens in a world that runs according to that paradigm, nobody does nothing because they don't want to be blamed for what they did or didn't do. So then people become wallflowers. I want you to be a mover and a shaker. You came here to dance a dance, to sing a song. You came here to express and explore something only you can. Neville Goddard says you came here for a divine purpose, and that is to know imagination. To know imagination, you have to buy the pearl. If you like swearing, caring, and sharing, those calls will rock your world. pearlpowerpack.com. Go there, get that, have fun, and get out of the blame game. Because at the end of the day, if I imagined it was hard work to check the oil, or if I imagined David was wrong, I didn't need to check the oil, or if I imagined that I was a shit car owner so I didn't feel like checking the oil. On the other hand, I imagined up a Mercedes. I decided to try something different to go on a different adventure. In 77 minutes, I had the very Mercedes that I fell in love with. More on that some other time. For right now, pearlpowerpack.com. Have a great day. Sharing is caring. If you're sharing cat videos and not sharing us, I deeply question. All right, I just wonder. Buy the pearl. See ya.